Is it because my shirt says harder than last time?
Maybe the
And
harder.
they think that I'm talking about the downstairs?
Well, you don't have an arrow pointing down on your shirt.
YouTube person, there's no arrow pointing downstairs. Harder than last time, literally, is the slogan to life. Coach Greg, and I'm here with
Sister Christine.
Sister Christine, and we're reacting to my hamstring workout that's literally too sexual for YouTube. We're gonna watch the video and react to it because it got demonetized for having too much sexual content. A human reviewed it, not a robot, a human. Human watched Coach Greg doing hamstring curls and said, "It's too much, cover your eyes. Cover your eyes, look away. Coach Greg doing hamstring curls is too much, is too much for YouTube." So I'm covering up the chesticles today because I don't want to be demonetized for showing too much chest. I'm here to present the facts, and my opinion is it ain't too sexual. I'm letting my sister watch it. It was too sexual. I'm not letting my sister watch me on YouPorn or what are the things? Or OnlyFans. I'm not letting her watch that. This is a normal video. It's one of my most educational videos demonetized. And when you get a video demonetized, YouTube doesn't show it. The algorithm, it sucks. So doing a redo of the video with my sister watching it to back me up that this ain't too sexual. Or maybe it is. Or maybe it is.
Maybe.
Maybe it is.
I'll be honest.
We are going to find out. She will be 100% honest. So those of you who don't know, Christine is literally a certified personal trainer. She trained people for years. She knows about the human body. She used to bodybuild. Just like Coach Greg, we shared a stage. True story.
It is.
So see, she's any bullshit nonsense. She's pressing the button, calling me out, and we'll see what happens.
I chose the sumo deadlift over the other forms of the deadlift only because I like it more. I feel it more. I've done more sumo deadlifts in my lifetime than probably 99.9.
So sexual content so far, is it appropriate sumo deadlift?
It seems fine. Your bum's out a bit, but
Bending down. So
that's
how
'cause
does
you
my
have-
form look on
You
this?
have proper form. If your bum was any less out, you would have bad form and you would be giving people the wrong information.
So apparently I have to do a sumo deadlift improperly. My bum is sticking out too much and it's too sexual. Got a bum sticking out, so demonetize sumo deadlift. I mean, does this make any sense? I'm showing you how to do a sumo deadlift. Do you like sumo deadlift?
That's one of my favorite exercises.
One of her favorite exercises. This in the genetics, in the genes. We like the same exercise.
And your
so,
bum has to be out that far. If it's not, you will hurt your lower back.
So, YouTube review person, you're supposed to deadlift like that. You're allowed to stick your bum out. Mm-hmm. There's no one behind me trying to get up on my face.
Maybe
or
it's because you have trained harder. You have harder written above you, above your shoulder.
YouTube, when it says train harder, I don't literally mean train while being harder in the downstairs. I'm talking about train harder than last time, like harder than before, like an extra rep, more weight. Could be the harder.
I previously set a Guinness Book of World Record for the sumo deadlift, and I've always had impressive hamstrings.
And Sister Christine is cheering me on, setting Guinness records, sumo deadlift. And it wasn't sexual.
And your parents are there.
Yeah, mom and dad.
They're like really close to you while you're doing this pose.
Yeah, if it was that sexual, I wouldn't let my parents and family members there to watch me. I'd want to keep it private a little bit.
But if you look really close, Dad seems to be quite distraught. He's in shock with this.
He might be just yelling. He's extreme. Let's see in real
Record
life.
for the sumo deadlift, and I've always
Oh, he's
had
counting.
impressive
Go,
hamstrings.
go.
You're gonna debate me? My hamstrings arguably are my best body part, and I hardly train my hamstrings. Of course, my hamstring development has a lot to do with my genetics, but I owe a lot of its development.
Close up of your bum. But it's not sexual.
I don't see any crack. There is coverage. No. I mean, let's be honest. Have you ever seen a girl in a bathing suit on YouTube? I've seen tons.
Yeah, they show more than that.
It's not even a thong. It's a suit. It's covering. Yeah, there's striations in my glutes because I'm lean. I mean, are those hamstrings so lean that it's sexual? Is when you have such a low body fat level, does that turn people on or something? I don't think so. I actually think it's less attractive to most people to look like this. I don't think this like turns people on, so to speak, when you're that lean and dehydrated. I don't know. I don't think that's sexual.
It can't be that.
I'm totally comfortable with you seeing that. I don't feel like, oh my God, Christine, just don't look at me. I'm embarrassed.
to me doing the sumo deadlift. I get a great stretch in the hamstrings and I can really feel the hamstrings working during this movement. For you, if you don't like the sumo deadlift, of course, change it up, do a different form of deadlifts. But for me, it's the best one. Not only is it the best for my hamstrings, it's safer on my lower back. I'm less likely to get injured. Of course, I've done conventional deadlifts. I've done all kinds of deadlifts over my lifetime, but the other forms cause me the most amount of pain. I've even had more injuries. I have an L4, L5 herniated disc for well over 2 decades. Sumo deadlifts are a safer exercise to do, less likely to cause damage to your lower back, and going to build up your hamstrings. Number 2, and this is a tough one. So if you don't have a lot of strength and you're a beginner, probably not going to be the 3 best. But if you're strong and you know what you're doing, you have experience, the glute ham raise. This is an amazing exercise for the hamstrings. Very, very difficult. It's even difficult for me, and I have really strong...
Like the camera angle is even from the front. Like most people, when they do these exercises, you know they're zooming in on the back size. And the friggin', you know, the friggin' material, it's curved around into the deep end.
What material? Oh, the clothes.
Yeah, the friggin' pant, mostly girls, it's up in there.
Yeah, you had like normal jogging pants.
Most people wearing those pants, I can literally see what they had for breakfast yesterday. It's so deep in there. You know what I mean? You've literally seen, it's a scrunchie and it hugs inside, right up to the edges.
It's called a wedgie.
It's wedgie.
That's what I think.
It's a wedgie. Yeah, it's exactly it. They show the wedgie. It's popularized. There is no wedgie being shown here. No. YouTube editor, viewer, person.
No wedgie.
While performing this exercise, be sure to control your body at all times. Go slower on the ascent.
Do you think they think I'm humping that pad or something? I'm just like hovering like this? Like, does it look like I'm like...
you're not good at it.
Like...
That's not humping.
That doesn't seem sexual, I don't think.
Then the concentric. Take your time. It's not a race. You don't want to hyperextend the back, and you want to keep constant tension on the hamstrings. You don't need to go all the way to the bottom. You're going to get plenty of muscle stimulus. Just keep control while doing this exercise. And number 1, the most important hamstring exercise you can do, and this is for all athletes, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, the number 1 hamstring exercise is the seated or lying hamstring curl. The reason I chose this one, even though it's not as hard as doing a glute ham raise, is because it's easier. It's harder to screw up. You're going to have less of a chance of making a mistake, getting injured, or doing it dangerously. Safety is paramount when training in the gym, and doing a seated or lying leg curl, these are safe and effective exercises that anyone can do. And why did I lump these together? Because they're equal. You can argue with me whether the seated or the lying one is more effective than the other. They're equally effective, and I like them both the same. When I do, in fact...
That's the less sexual of all of them. I was waiting for you to do at least hip thrusts or like...
Yeah, I'm not even thrusting the hips!
Like hip thrusts is, I was assuming for sure, hip thrust where you lay on the ground and you're elevating your hips into the air. That could arguably
And
be
yet
sexual.
I see people on YouTube all the time doing hip thrusts. I don't see them being demonetized. I mean, I talk about racism, using the N word, being called out. YouTube loves it. Hundreds of thousands of views. But when I make an educational video on proper lifting technique, oh, we don't like that. No, demonetize. We're not going to push it. The algorithm won't support it. So you say, Coach Greg, you're just about drama. You don't do educational videos. Maybe it's because YouTube is not showing my educational videos. You think all I do is drama only because YouTube shows you the drama. If I was in my off season, like now, with like 9% body fat, would it be okay then? Is YouTube prejudiced against me because I'm ripped? It's shred shaming! YouTube, are you shred shaming me? Shredded. He's got veins on the side of his leg. It's not the main vein. It's a vein on the side of my leg. It's not sexual. Did they mistakenly think that was like some kind of a ball or hanging?
Well,
did they
have
like
a medical ailment if that were the case?
I mean,
that can't.
Those are muscles. It ain't my downstairs. Those are muscles. I'm not showing anything. I'm reversed. I'm not standing on the front with all the things out in your face. This is from behind. What is wrong with that?
Within any given exercises, you can adapt and change it so that you're focusing on the hamstrings. If you're doing a hack squat, V squat, Smith machine...
You spread your legs?
So maybe because my legs were apart, wide stance leg press, is you saying maybe that's too much? You have to keep your leg closed?
It doesn't make sense. It can't be that.
YouTube review person, is it because my feet were a bit wider apart on the platform? I can only do leg presses feet close together. I mean, we're literally sitting here, we're trying to objectively say how the person that reviewed the video decided it wasn't good enough for YouTube. It was too sexual in nature.
I'm not seeing it yet.
Too graphic.
If you want to focus more on your outer hamstrings versus your inner hamstrings, it's okay to vary your foot position, but for the most part, just do it where it feels the best for you.
Maybe it's because I said do it where it feels the best for you. Is that too sexual? Saying feels the best, and maybe that's signifying like something in the bedroom?
I don't know.
That's a stretch, YouTube editor person.
It's too ridiculous.
I mean, you should be allowed to say what feels better. Like, oh, it tastes better. You can't say it tastes better because you might be talking about body fluids. No.
People are at the gym, ego lifting, they put the weight on their back, they walk back and they squat halfway down. That's great to build the quads, but it's not doing much for your hamstring.
I mean, Bradley Martin squatting girls in tight pants on his back on each side, hanging off of him, doing all this cool stuff. I see people like Brandon Harding bench pressing with 2 girls straddling him, and that's on YouTube, but I can't do a half squat. I know, in my next video, how to train hamstrings, I'm going to lay down on the bed and have 2 girls straddle me.
If you're doing halfway down squats and saying, oh, that's enough, I don't need to worry about my hamstrings, big mistakes. You want to ensure that your hamstrings are properly developed because you want to make sure that you're training your hamstrings as hard as you're training your quads.
Is it because my shirt says harder than last time?
Maybe the
And
harder.
they think that I'm talking about the downstairs?
Well, you don't have an arrow pointing down on your shirt.
YouTube person, there's no arrow pointing downstairs. Harder than last time, literally, is the slogan to life. Like, do everything harder than last time. Whatever you do, go harder, work harder, be better, do more. It doesn't mean I'm talking about, like, I'm harder than last time. It's not a sexual thing, YouTube review person.
Happens all the time. Not as often do people pull a quad. So do not neglect your hamstring training. If you're going to the gym and you're only doing halfway down squats and you're not focusing on the hamstrings, because let's face it, we like training muscles that we can see. We can see our chest and we can't see our back, and most people prefer to train chest over back. We can easily see our quads when we train, but hard to see the hamstrings are back there. Unless you got eyes in the back.
They think you're not wearing pants.
I had shorts on, they're short shorts. The 7-inch inseam ones from Lululemon. I had a jacket, but I'm not naked. The jacket is long because, you know.
But
There's no parts being shown. I'm literally wearing shorts and a jacket. Is it that?
I don't know.
Maybe that combined with wearing a shirt that said harder than the other ones, they think that I'm like, but literally, if that guy watched this whole video and came to that conclusion, there's something wrong with the person that reviewed it. They need to hire better reviewers.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, come on.
Number 2, the stiff-legged deadlift, especially with heavy weights and with the legs completely straight and when locking out. Oh.
Stiff. The word stiff.
Stiff. That did it.
That was it.
Editor Steve didn't pick that up. Stiff-legged deadlift. No. You have to say stifler-legged deadlift. It's like the Trent bologna sandwich. You can't actually say the word because...
And the number 1 worst exercise for your hamstring, the absolute worst one, I hate this one, I hate it, the standing single leg hamstring curl. You know the one, you're standing there and there's about 100 pounds on the rack and you put it on the lightest weight and you can only lift it halfway up. It sucks, I hate it. It's there in every gym and people are doing it and you lift it and it's halfway up.
And it's not sexual, I'm just like curling behind. No. It's just, I mean, I know the camera's behind, but I'm wearing shorts. I'm not wearing into the deep end.
No.
Which... I mean, is that a gender thing, like male versus female? Like girls wear the shorts up into the deep end and they're not demonetized. But if I do it without the deep end, I'm demonetized. I feel like there's a little bias there. I feel like that's not fair.
I find it pointless and useless and I hate it. Not to mention, you do the whole thing on one side, then you got to do it again on the other. It takes longer than doing other exercises. So
I said longer.
Ah. So maybe it's the combination.
Hard,
you said long, stiff, hard, and then you had... Then
long, stiff, and hard.
And then, so then they watched it on fast forward, and all they heard was long, stiff, hard. And then they said, "This can't be a good video."
Yeah, and that person's probably reviewing like 100 videos a day. I mean, this could have been the last review of the day, and it's like, oh, freaking hamstring, man, long, stiff, hard.
Yeah,
no.
Let's delete this one.
Yeah, that some things happen there.
That makes sense.
And in it, here, GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette, IPB Pro. Bloops are over there, watch one of them. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, subscribe to my newsletter, buy my freaking cookbook, training book. Make me richer than last time. And until next time, I'll get richer than last time. And I'm out.
There was nothing on that. I can't believe you were actually demonetized for that. That's weird. I feel like I wouldn't care if my 10-year-old saw this video, because then she would know good form of how to lift hamstrings.
It's okay for her 10-year-old daughter to watch this, but YouTube deemed it too sexual. I mean, the freaking parrot from Aladdin had more sexual content than this.
Way more.
Did you watch that movie? I only watched it like a couple weeks ago.
I watched it. You only watched Aladdin a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
We had the tape.
I never
watched
watched
it like 100 times.
We, as in you.
Me and Steve. Editor Steve
I did not.
watched it.
I was like, what is happening? I found it scary.
Scary.
Yeah, they had to go down in the hole in the gold,
fiery
and if he
face.
took the thing, and I didn't watch the newer one, the Will Smith one. I think.
Oh, I didn't either.
I've only watched that one, and it was recent. Man, it was probably more than 2 weeks ago. It was probably like a month or a little bit ago. But I'd never seen the parrot because I was like, "You sound like the parrot from Aladdin," and I was like, "I've never seen this movie."
You've never seen Aladdin.
And I was like, "Why is
in your-
everyone saying I sound like the parrot?" And then I was like, seeing a clip of the parrot. I'm like, "Yeah, he says moron," and I was like, "That sounds like me."
Do you find now that
Yeah.
after you watch the video?
Yeah, and I also
the
find
movie?
I sound like different people too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's different people.
Yeah.
But I get the reference.
Well,
But funny is that people will like try to get mad. Oh, you parrot. And I'm like thinking,
Why
they've
is
been
that?
saying that for a year. They keep bringing it up, and I've already talked about it so much.
Your joke is old.
Yeah. So what I was going to get? Buy my freaking cookbook. And until next time, we are out. So just so you know, it's and to. That's what I do at every video.